Warning: the following video contains foul language, mockery of the mentally ill, ableism, homophobia, racism, sexism, general unpleasant behavior, and logic so incredibly flawed and stupid that it is not suitable for younger viewers or anyone with a total of more than 3 brain cells. Viewer discretion is heavily advised. I thought I was done with this clown. Yes, folks, today we're talking about the gaming legend himself, Mario Plumber, the man whose ego is the only thing bigger than his bad reputation. I know what some of you might be thinking. Wait, Mario Plumber? That guy who admitted he was trolling like a year ago? Yes, that Mario Plumber. He did make a video stating that his actions were all just an elaborate trolling scheme, but he'd said in a recent video that even though the yelling and swearing was an act, his opinions still stand, so he's still worth commenting on if you ask me. Also, if you continue trolling after admitting you're a troll, you start looking less like a troll and more like an idiot. Not to mention, he could have easily just been saying that to get people off his back about being a bully and a scalper. I mean, when does a bully ever outright call themselves a bully? Unless you watched a certain movie. Even if Mario Plumber is a troll through and through, it is pretty fun to pick apart the insane logic that goes on in his videos. And by fun, I mean infuriating. But that's why I'm here today, my dear viewers, so that I can slag through this horrible train wreck so you don't have to. May the Lord have mercy on my soul. The video I'll be commenting on is titled, Nintendo Still Supporting Hentai, Truth of the Damage to the Fanbase, The Real MTP. Jeez, that's a mouthful. Alright, let's look at what we're dealing with here.
Well, I'm pretty disappointed with Nintendo today.
In other news, water is wet, the sun is hot, and every living human on the planet Earth is currently breathing. Tune in at 7 for more stunning revelations.
But before I touch up on that, I would just like to say that there's people out there in the comments that like to say that I'm trolling with my views. I may be trolling with the way I've been acting, but my views are 100% legitimate.
See what I mean? He just outright admitted that he's not trolling. Of course, he could be lying about this, but I'm going to go with my instincts and say that he is completely serious about this.
I hate Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It is the worst Sonic game of all time. For various reasons, you know why. It is a game that spawned gaming autism and evolved in current Nintendo today.
My god, we are not even 30 seconds in, and I can feel my blood pressure rising. Do you have any sources for this? Like any legitimate, non-biased sources at all? Because science has shown that autism is a neurological disorder based on how your brain develops in the womb. What this means is that the only way to have autism is to be born with it. You can't develop it from vaccines, you can't catch it from someone like an STD, and you definitely can't get it from a video game. What you're doing is called fear-mongering, deliberately misspreading information in order to scare people into supporting you, because they can't handle the idea of their darling little children having autism. And because I actually do have sources to back this up, I'm going to be putting links in the description. I hope you didn't mind my little rant, because it will be coming up a lot in this video.
I am not trolling when I say this.
And that is what scares me.
You can look it up for yourself. The facts are out there.
Funny how you say that, because when I looked into it, I actually found many scientific studies, blog posts, and forum discussions suggesting video games can actually help people with autism. Once again, I will provide links in the description. Wow, his knowledge on autism is so misinformed, he could work for Autism Speaks. Oh yeah, I went there.
Back in 2009 through 2011, it was the worst thing in the world to shit on Sonic for gaming community. You shit on Sonic, you get so much backlash. Nowadays, you shit on current Nintendo, you get backlash. Shitting on Sonic's the cool thing.
MTP, I can guarantee that a majority of the backlash you're getting has almost nothing to do with your dislike of Nintendo, and more to do with you being an unpleasant mishmash of all sorts of prejudiced views. Why would anyone want to be around someone like that?
If I criticize current Nintendo, a current Nintendo fan's gonna shit on my avatar.
Refer back to my original statement. Most of your backlash has to do with how you present yourself and your arguments. Your icon is the least of your problems.
Even though they like Splatoon, there's something wrong with that.
Wait, let me get this straight. So, People can't comment on your avatar if they enjoy Splatoon. That makes absolutely no sense, even by your logic. And what's wrong with liking Splatoon? No, I'm serious about that. What's wrong with it? It's a fun and unique game that's great for all ages. The only thing that ruins it is people trying to sexualize an innocent children's game with young protagonists, saying it's hentai just because it has squids and schoolgirl uniforms. But we don't know anyone like that now, do we?
I mean, the first thing that's wrong is a guy defending Lolicon and his avatar. You go to his channel, you're damn right there's some sort of borderline porn on his channel for Splatoon.
I've actually seen the channel of the guy I think he's talking about. I won't give out the user's name for the sake of privacy, but none of his videos are pornographic at all. So who's really the one supporting Lolicon? The guy who plays a game with little girls in it, or the guy that says that a game with little girls in it is automatically porn?
But he doesn't know the background of my avatar. He doesn't know the story behind it. It's my first avatar. I can have that Sonic if I want. And it's not a fan drawing. So it's official art, but yet you have a fan drawing.
Okay, you have official art for your avatar. We get it. What do you want? A medal? Why are we even talking about avatars? Why do you care whether someone's avatar is official art or not? What is the point? What are you fighting for?
And you're criticizing me for liking Sonic, trying to connect it to autism.
I would comment, but honestly, that sentence got so butchered near the end that I'm not sure what he was trying to say. It's called a script, dude.
What about you? I mean, you got a fan drawing of a current Nintendo character. It's not official. You go to your channel and you look at these characters in a sexual manner because you're desperate over them. Is that not autism to you?
Yeah, except this guy does not fetishize these characters at all. You, on the other hand, have automatically assumed a game with little girls' uniforms and tentacles is hentai, have edited an official image in order to support this claim, have judged the entire fanbase of said game on a handful of individuals that most of the community is outright against, and compared shooting ink out on the ground out of a water gun to ejaculation. All of this for a game intended for 10-year-olds. If anyone needs to get their mind out of the gutter and their hand out of their pants, it's you. And no, enjoying a game does not cause autism. Once again, it's a neurological disorder.
You're telling me I have autism just because I got a Sonic avatar. You, my friend, are a different story. You have all of this obsession listed on your channel.
Yes, people tend to list their interests so that people who subscribe to them know what sort of content they'll be creating. If you don't like Splatoon, you'd know not to subscribe to someone who says they make strategy guides for Splatoon. Besides, your About page says, and I quote, "I am 24 years old and I am the best at any games I touch. I am unbeatable. I collect Sonic 1 merch, Mario merch from 1981 through 1996, and also Zelda merch. I'm the best there is at what I do and I love my life and I thank God for it. I am not asking you to hate me if you dislike me, but that's because you are jealous of superiority." Pardon me, but your infatuation with being the best at everything is rather obsessive. Oh, and your grammar sucks. Go back to grade school, Nimrod.
And I go to it. And I don't find anything out of the realm of that obsession. You see, that's the difference between me and you. My interests are not limited.
Ha, that's
but
rich
yours.
coming from the guy whose channel is filled to the brim with videos about characters he claims he has nothing to do with. Like I said before, of course someone who says they like Splatoon is going to have a lot of Splatoon-based videos. What did you expect?
Yours is obsession. That obsession is autism.
While obsessive behavior can be a symptom of being on the spectrum, it's one single trait. One trait does not automatically mean you have autism, just like how being pessimistic does not automatically mean you have depression, or getting stage fright does not automatically mean you have anxiety.
And current Nintendo is creating that.
At the risk of sounding like a broken record, autism develops while you are still in the womb. Outside forces such as vaccines, mercury, and video games cannot give someone autism. There have been scientific studies to prove this. You are not a doctor, you are not a scientist, you are not a neurologist. You have no authority on the causes of this neurological disorder. Stop spreading misinformation in order to get people on your side. It is manipulative as all hell.
Now, please don't take this the wrong way. I am not using autism as an insult like you would if you said I had a Sonic avatar.
That sounds an awful lot like someone who says they're not racist and then says an incredibly racist thing. You assume that anybody who dares to disagree with your ridiculous logic is on the spectrum. Therefore, you're comparing having autism to something you deem negative, which, newsflash, is considered using it as an insult.
I'm just saying the truth here. Current Nintendo is the source of gaming autism, right?
Yeah, I think you're missing something, buddy. It's called sources to back up your claims. Oh, wait, you have no sources to back up this claim because you're lying through your teeth.
And if you're going to refuse that, even though you have those problems, you are in denial.
Is your butt jealous of the crap coming out of your mouth? Look, I'm sorry if I seem really angry. This is really getting on my nerves. I have a brother who's on the spectrum, and I get really upset when people spread misinformation like this.
I'm just going to list some things here and to see if you have this and it's affecting your life. You see, if you go out every day thinking about Nintendo characters, draw fan art, look up stuff on the internet about Nintendo, or constantly play Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8, fan sites, forums, anything of that sort, or if you hurry up and rush your schoolwork to go play your Wii U, to do anything, if you're always on Miiverse, if you always find yourself playing games every day, you have this problem.
Alright, pretty much everything you just listed is an example of stuff normal fans of anything do. We like this thing, so we experience it. We talk about it. We see what others are saying about it. It's something video game fans do, something sports fans do, something comic book fans do, etc. If it is taking over your life to the point where you can't do anything else, then yes, that is a problem. But most of this is pretty rational behavior. In fact, games like Splatoon, Fire Emblem, The Wonderful 101, The Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario Galaxy have served as huge inspirations for my art, helping me try new things and improve in an area I've been considering going into as a profession.
And you see, the way Nintendo is doing things right now, the problem's only going to expand into more and ruin other people's lives. Do you want that to happen? Do you want someone to be miserable because of Nintendo? Do you want them to have depression? Do you want them to have anxiety? Or do you want them to live their life at their fullest?
And this, folks, is my tipping point. I'm going to be a bit more serious here and discuss something very personal to me. I see a therapist frequently, and recently we've been discussing the possibility of me having things like depression or anxiety. And it's honestly scary to me. It scares me that I have thoughts of killing myself and that I can't make plans for the future because I don't know if I'll be able to stay alive enough to go to college, to secure a job, to get married, to start a family, things like that. My mental health has been doing awful lately, especially considering both my uncle and my beloved dog passed away recently. But you know what's helped me? Oddly enough, playing video games. They cheer me up after I've had a long and rough day. They make me calm down and focus on something other than being sad or wanting to die or something horrible like that. The friends I made through a shared love of those games comfort me when I need it most, and drawing characters like Rosalina and Lucina is soothing to me. Video games have been a huge help for my mental state, getting me to a point where I can sit down and sort things out, make schedules so I have specific times to work on schoolwork and still have time to get in a few rounds of Smash Bros. And I know I'm not alone in this sort of thinking. In short, Mario to Plumber does not speak for everyone, and is once again fear-mongering in order to get people on his side. And as someone who's been helped by video games, I find this incredibly insulting, trolling or not.
So let's picture a setting in your mind of a scenario where you're talking to your family members to see how unnormal you are compared to everybody else. So I'm going to picture having a Christmas dinner with your family. And you have all your family members there for like maybe one time a year. You hardly ever get to see them. They're going to ask you questions about how you doing in life and stuff, or your school, with your job, or what's up with you. And you just say, well, I've been manning my waifu, Rosalina, on Smash Brothers to get better to eventually play Smash Brothers competitively.
Believe it or not, Mario to Plumber, it is possible to be successful in school or work and enjoy video games. And if you did tell your family members about wanting to play Smash competitively, who's to say that can't spark a conversation? Maybe you have a little cousin who likes Smash Bros. And needs advice on playing her favorite character. Maybe you have a brother-in-law who's really into the fighting game scene and could point you to some nearby Smash tournaments. Maybe you have a grandmother who hasn't touched a controller since Pong and wants to learn more about this game where Super Mario can punch Pac-Man in the face. My cousin and I talk about Smash Bros, asking each other what we think about this character or if we bought the new DLC yet. It brought us together through a shared interest, and once again, you do not speak for everyone.
Now, what do you think their reaction to that is going to be?
At least in my family, curiosity at best and disinterest at worst. It's really not that big a deal. I'm starting to think you have some personal issues with your family that needs to be worked out. That's not even like me trying to be funny or make a joke. I'm legitimately concerned about your relationship with your family. You okay, man? You want to talk about it? Oh, who am I kidding? You're just gonna call me a hentai-loving spurg like you do with anyone who points out how ridiculous you are. I've just accepted it at this point.
Can you flat out say that Rosalina is your waifu to people in their face?
Well, maybe because I make it obvious that I'm joking. Of course, I'm not married to a fictional character. When someone calls a character their waifu or husbando or something like that, they usually mean it as a joke, as a way of saying that the character is attractive, and if the character were real, it'd be cool to date them. Some people just use it to say a character is their favorite. Do some people take it too far? Of course they do. Poking around the internet, you find lots of weirdos. But if you're just joking around with friends, there's no harm done. Not to mention that those who do take it too far are often mocked even within the community. Like with this hilarious cosplay I saw.
Can you? I bet you can't. You know why? Because you're flat out embarrassed by it. Because it's not normal.
Or I'm joking.
But just think, if you turn your life around, you could say this, and you'd feel much better about yourself. You know, I passed college, and I'm going to university, and I have a part-time job to pay off my student loan. How much better would you feel if you told that to a family member instead of just say that I'm working on maining my waifu Rosalina? First off, they're probably not going to even know what a waifu is. And second, you're going to feel embarrassed to even admit that. And three, you would never do that to an adult because you know it's not normal.
Quick question. How do you think Satoru Iwata was able to start making video games? What about Masahiro Sakurai, or Shigeru Miyamoto, or virtually anyone in the video game industry? Because I'm willing to bet that they all went to college and got part-time jobs to pay off their student loans. Enjoying video games doesn't make you unable to lead a successful life. And of course I wouldn't say Rosalina was my waifu to an adult, because it's a joke between friends and nothing else.
See, since I can think this through my head, I've been a person that's been successful all my life.
Yes, congratulations. You've been successful in giving a company you hate over $4,000 for a product you don't even like, making yourself look like an absolute tool, spreading lies and misinformation to support your claims because you know you have no proper sources, and giving gamers a bad name. Nice to know you're putting that college education of yours to good use.
I am proud of who I am.
You're proud to be a spoiled brat who throws a fit when Nintendo does something he doesn't like?
You see, I don't even play video games as much as you do, and I know I can flat out say, without hesitation, that I am the best gamer in the world and one of the only few true Nintendo fans left on this planet. It is the truth, and I know it hurts for you to hear this, but it is the damn truth.
Oh yeah, I totally saw you at the Nintendo World Championships. Oh wait, no I didn't. If you're the poster child of a true Nintendo fan, then I thank my lucky stars that I'm apparently not one. Seriously, dude, get over yourself.
You know, I'm not somebody that's just going to sit around and do nothing while this shit is going on, and I know it's going on. I'm going to be there to help you out.
That sounds like a threat. You keep your so-called help away from me, you creep.
And I know I've helped some people out because they messaged me. They told me how I changed their way on how they think, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm glad you could turn yourself around before it was too late. I'm glad I could help you out.
Once again, can I get some sources on this? Can I see some of these messages? Are they legitimate and not just some trolls trying to stroke your ego? Because I doubt you've actually helped anyone. If anything, you've probably hurt more people than you have helped.
You see, I'm not going to let you be that person. I'm not going to let you be that person that's going to go to Walmart with their mom and ask your own mother to ask the guy to get the game out of the case while you walk away and look at other stuff acting like you're not even there. I'm not going to let you be that.
Well, once again, I can't speak for everyone, but usually it's the opposite. I'm the one getting the game while my mom checks out something else. Not out of embarrassment or shame or anything, she's just not super interested in video games. As long as I run it by her, she kind of just lets me buy what I'm interested in. Also, your talk of essentially converting someone to your way of thinking is, well, it's kind of creepy actually. Like you're trying to start a cult.
I'm going to make you be the person. We're going to walk in Walmart confidently, and you're going to buy the game that you want yourself.
Sorry, Mario Plumber, but I'm already confident in buying the games I like, and I don't need your weird cult to do it.
You know, I'm going to ask a question for all you guys in the comments, mostly the adults. Would you feel embarrassed if you asked, like, a person at the cash register, same age as you, probably there's a possibility you went to high school together and he's just working a part-time job to pay off his student loan or something. You ask him to get Fire Emblem Fates out of the case for you. And he looks at you, and he recognizes you, and then you have a talk a bit, and then you ask if it's for you. And now he knows the game's for you, and he sees on the back there's a petting feature. How would you feel? Would you feel embarrassed?
Okay, ignoring the fact that the petting feature was almost entirely removed from the American release of Fire Emblem Fates, there's a good chance that I will never see this person again in my life. So why would I care what they think? Most employees don't really even ask who the game is for, unless it's a baby game like Dora the Explorer or something. Usually the employees just ring up my purchase and tell me to have a nice day. We may talk about the game a little bit, but most of the time they don't really care about why you're buying it. So, no, I wouldn't feel embarrassed because I don't care what some random cashier thinks about the games I buy.
Because you should feel embarrassed. It's not normal to buy that kind of shit.
Yes! How dare you buy a game that I don't like? Shame on you! Why do you care again? Nobody is holding a gun to your head and forcing you to buy or enjoy these games. You're basically the internet equivalent of someone standing outside an ice cream parlor, yelling about how ice cream is the product of Satan to anyone who goes into the store. That's not going to make people change their mind about making a purchase. It's just going to make you look like a lunatic. You're treating buying a video game like buying a porn magazine or something. Calm down, man. It's a video game.
Now, what I was going to say about Nintendo, keeping the petting feature in is just a big mistake.
Except not, because it was cut from the North American release.
And the way to only get there is to marry.
Except not, because it was cut from the North American release and I have played the game, so I can prove it. So literally, shut your mouth. Hell, this doesn't even make any sense, because you made a video talking about it's cut from the North American release before this video. You knew the feature was cut, and yet you insist that people are buying this game solely for that feature.
In the game. Who the fuck plays video games to marry?
People who want more soldiers with good stats. That's who. That, and I'll admit, I did like the backstory we got for some of the characters. Certain supports like the ones between Libra and Tharja or Sully and Kellum made me really appreciate characters I once dismissed as one-note or unlikable.
What the fuck? Make-believe marriage.
So, who's gonna tell them that marriage in the game is totally optional and not the main objective at all? I mean, I'm sure it's possible to beat Fire Emblem games without any of the units marrying. The only ones I can think of off the top of my head that automatically get married are Marth, Eliwood, and Chrom, and that's because the plots of their games wouldn't work otherwise. Yes, Married to Plumber, these games do have a plot beyond marriage. Maybe if you actually, I don't know, did some research, you'd know these sort of things.
So fucking retarded.
It wouldn't be a Mario to Plumber rant without some good old-fashioned use of the R word. Clearly, we are dealing with only the most sophisticated of gamers here, folks.
Only people with social anxiety problems would welcome this kind of feature in a game.
And trashing people with social anxiety? Oh, Mario Plumber, you're too kind. How sweet of you to take a condition that many people, including me, despise in themselves and wish they didn't have, and insult them for exhibiting behavior related to said condition.
Now again, please, do not take it the wrong way. I am not insulting people with social anxiety problems.
How else are we supposed to take it? You use an ableist slur to describe a feature in a game, then say that the only people who enjoy said feature are people with social anxiety. I can't see that as anything but insulting.
I am just saying the truth. This is the only channel on YouTube that you will hear the truth of current Nintendo and what it is damaging.
All I've heard is a toddler throwing a temper tantrum because someone is doing something he doesn't like and he's bullying everyone else who likes it.
Now, there's many things that are like current Nintendo that have similarities that cause the same problems. And there's very big chances that one another can connect. Because I've seen it. I've done my research. I know what I'm talking about. So if you're a fan of current Nintendo, there's a very big chance you're a fan of My Little Pony. Same thing goes for My Little Pony. If you're a fan of My Little Pony, there's a big chance you're a fan of current Nintendo.
Oh my god. What does My Little Pony have to do with any of this? You're literally just pulling things out of thin air and twisting them in your favor.
Chance you're a fan of hentai. And if you're a fan of hentai, there's a big chance you're a fan of current Nintendo.
That's strange, considering I'm a fan of Nintendo and I'm asexual. What that means is I don't enjoy sex. So why would I enjoy hentai, which is filled with sex? This logic is very flawed.
And if you like current Nintendo, you probably have some nasty fetish.
Once again, there are many asexual Nintendo fans, myself included. Your argument is invalid.
And if you have a nasty fetish, that means you're a fan of current Nintendo.
Asexuals exist. Their existence makes this argument invalid, you walnut.
You see, everything correlates with one another.
Alright, even if I wasn't asexual, pretty much all porn and fetish art of characters like Rosalina, Peach, Daisy, Linkle, Ashley, Lucina, Samus, the Inklings, and the Wii Fit trainer borderline disgusts me. And if it doesn't outright disgust me, I still don't want to look at it. There are many people in the fandom who feel the same. Once again, your argument is invalid.
Making a big contrast known as autumn.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Now granted, I said majority, so that means that not everybody is going to have that connection. But that's just a small percent. A large percent has the connection and correlation with one another.
Yay! Backpedaling! And even if these people were a majority, you're still making blanket assumptions.
You know, this stuff has to change. This cannot go on any longer. And to make change, we need the voices to be heard from the real fans.
You know, he's right. The voices of real fans need to be heard. And as a real fan, I have an announcement. Mario to Plumber, you are a closed-minded, bigoted, tantrum-throwing, slur-spitting, backwards-thinking, misinformation-spreading, harassing, lying, condescending, embarrassing piece of garbage that makes me ashamed to be a gamer because it lumps me into the same category as you.
A real fan is someone that criticizes something for something to get better. A real fan is not someone that accepts everything that they do and praises all the games that they make. That is called a fanboy and a fangirl.
Even I can admit that Nintendo isn't perfect, contrary to what you and your little friends may believe. The Olympic Games series has outstayed its welcome, a new Mario Tennis game wasn't needed at all, the Wonderful 101 was horribly marketed, which most likely contributed to the game's under-the-radar status, and the fact that it's brushed off as Pikmin with humans. Sticker Star was rightfully scorned by fans of the Paper Mario series. The fact that you can marry Lucina to her cousin in Fire Emblem Awakening, while gay marriage is out of the question, is absolutely disgusting. The petting option in Fire Emblem Fates definitely deserved its cut from the US release, and the fact that you can marry your siblings is still disgusting. Bowser mode in Mario Party 10 is incredibly broken, and I can go on. But the reason I enjoy Nintendo is because when they get something right, they really get it right. Splatoon was a unique and fun take on the classic team shooter. The Wonderful 101 was an exciting, innovative game that didn't deserve the overlooking and scorn it received from critics and gamers alike. Fire Emblem Fates gives you the option to see both sides of the same story, rather than the typical you're the good guy, they're the bad guy situation earlier games, how most games in general have, and even the option to not side with either family in the Revelations version. They had fans vote on Smash Bros. DLC in order to see what they wanted, rather than just putting a character in and hoping fans would be happy. But because these games don't fit your narrow-minded view of what a game should be, you jump the gun and pitch a fit like a toddler. That's called being a fantard, or as I like to call it, a fan brat. You are entirely opposed to anything Nintendo does that differs from what you want, which is basically just a rehash of Super Mario 64 with online co-op. And you review games before they're even out yet, and without being given an official copy for the sake of reviewing it. Therefore, never playing it, which you can't do. You have to play a game in order to review it, because if not, your review is shallow at best and incredibly biased at worst. That'd be like me doing this commentary without watching any of your videos. Believe me, I've watched your videos. Probably blew out my eardrums and raised my blood pressure doing it, but I did it.
I am one of the only few true, real Nintendo fans left on this planet. I am not blinded by obsession.
No, you're blinded by nostalgia. Totally different.
I am someone that can point out its flaws and critique them at any given moment if they do something wrong.
So can I, pal. Did you not hear that list I made? That isn't even all the mistakes they've made. Problem is, you don't critique. You trash. And half the time it makes no sense. Silent protagonist fetish? What kind of claim is that?
The only way to fight this kind of business practice is to let the obsession be known.
And then world domination! Or, Nintendo not listening to you because they have more important things to do than cater to the needs of a 20-something idiot who whines over the internet and harasses children.
Everybody that is a current Nintendo fan is aware of their problems, but they will not admit that the source of their problems is the very thing that they love. So I'm just going to say a few things before I go. If you're somebody that has a waifu, or you like looking at these characters and you find them sexually attractive even though they're Nintendo game characters but designed to have that sex appeal back in Japan where all those Japanese fags like to have that shit, you have this problem.
Yeah, because just look at how sexy this is. Or what about this? Or this? Real sexy. Or this? Or this? Or this? Or this? Or this? And especially this. Look, don't get me wrong. Nintendo has put in some characters who are meant to be viewed as attractive. But that's the thing. Nintendo's roster is meant to have variation. How boring would it be if every single character in Nintendo's library looked exactly like Mario and Peach? Some characters like to show off their bodies. Some prefer to cover up. Some are shy. Some are confident. Some value brains over brawn, and some rush into battle guns blazing. Good, evil, ambiguously aligned, tall, short, even non-human creatures are included among Nintendo's cast of characters. Wow, it's almost like Nintendo designs these characters to look different from one another, and not just so guys can gawk at them. And really, Fapan, real classy. You know if it weren't for Fapan, your precious Super Mario 64 wouldn't even exist, right?
If you're somebody that goes to DeviantArt, favorites, likes, subscribes, or Miiverse favorites and likes their photo, and you can't tell if it's traced or not, you have this problem.
Alright, some of the art might be traced. Some people may just be good artists. Why do you even care about it? I guess using official images for your own gain is only okay when you use it to explain why a game full of children is hentai, huh?
And lastly, if you think the NX is going to do good this E3 and you're so excited for it and there's nothing that can go wrong with it and you think they're going to have stellar games, you have this problem.
I prefer to think of it as optimism.
Oh, wait. I got one more thing to say. The last thing I'm going to say, promise. After that, nothing after that. If you can't tell the difference between my trolling and acting and my legitimate self, you have this problem. I'm just going to flat out say it. This was me. 100% me. This isn't acting. This was all me. This is how I feel about current Nintendo.
And there you have it, so no more waving him away as a troll.
The waifu characters.
If you legitimately believe that every picture of a woman is automatically porn, you need to get help, because that's a serious mental problem.
All the hate towards Sonic Adventure 2, everything, that is me. You want to see trolling, go find out yourself. If you can't tell the difference, I'll say it again. You have this problem.
The only one with a problem here is you, Mario to Plumber. Well, there you have it. My head hurts, my blood pressure is haywire, I can practically feel my hair turning gray, and I feel impure for even commenting on this filth. Hopefully he'll at least think about what I said, and oh, wait, I'm a girl! So according to Marietta Plummer, I'm automatically stupid and inferior. Well, that's more of a him problem. I'm gonna go lay down and remind myself that no matter how bitter I get, I'll never be as bitter as Marietta Plummer. See you later.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.